take your responsibility, and make your relationship the best relationship you can, and honor your partner in that way. Don't honor them by putting your dirt onto them. That is a different way of saying, and that is not for everyone, but I think that it is an important perspective to include here, because we live in this era where transparency supposedly is the best model for everything, and people dish stuff out on other people that destroys them in the name of. And when you're no longer attracted to your person, ask yourself, what is that about? Are you paying attention? Are you, I think people often just think that attraction is something like, I look at you and I should just instantly have a response, and sometimes it's also because I haven't really taken a good look. And sometimes it's because what I'm looking at isn't necessarily anymore what draws me in. And sometimes it's not, attraction is a very fluid thing. It comes and goes. When I'm angry at you, I'm not nearly as attracted to you as when I'm looking at you being so kind to someone and I say, what a great person you are. And I just want to come in and I run over and I want to hug you and I want to hold you. That's attraction too, right? We're not just talking about the attraction to have sex with somebody. Attraction is part of a story. It's part of a context. If you think that you're just going to watch Netflix for 3 hours, scroll on your phone for another 2, and then turn around and say, "Oh, you're so attractive, and I'm so turned on by you," you're off. You're off. This is not the way that it works. And then it's easy to replace the person and to just think, new shiny object, we will be very attracted again. But attraction is a part of an interaction. These two words have the same etymological root. If there is zero interaction, now, if you have a partner who neglects themselves, a partner who, there's lots of things that people also do that diminishes them. There was a woman in an event I just did, and there had been some hurt in the relationship. And so she said, I'm no longer attracted, which is not the same as I have no desire. Basically, she had no desire. And she said, but we've talked everything out, we've discussed it. I said, yeah, you may have discussed it, but your body is shut down. Your body carries the anger, your body carries the hurt, your body carries the feelings, and your body doesn't want to open. So obviously, it's not over. So that too is attraction.
It is one of the most popular things that men whisper to me in silence, which is they can't seem to get there. And listen, I'm saying men because the majority of my good friends that would whisper to me are men. So it might be the case for women too. I just can't speak to that. Is that they are unsure how they could possibly be faithful for a prolonged period of time. And have one partner for a prolonged period of time.
I think that would be an interesting thing to tell your men friends. Women get bored with monogamy much sooner than men.
Really?
Yes.
That's not what men think.
No, men think she's not interested in sex. And what they should probably replace it with is that she's not interested in the sex she's going to have. In order to want sex, it needs to be sex that is worth wanting. For women to remain interested, it needs to be interesting. And so the fact that women don't necessarily experience the same liberties, at least historically and culturally all over the world, that men do, so they remain in their homes and they are not as unfaithful because there's been a double standard around infidelity forever, everywhere in the world.
For this particular friend of mine, where is that message? What should I say to him when he says, how can you be satisfied with one sexual partner? That's literally, just so you know that I'm not just...
Yeah, I believe you.
But some people at home might think that it's like me as a proxy of a...
But maybe you're not. Maybe you're not. Maybe you want to have more partners. Maybe you want your partner to have other partners too. That's not always so the case, right?
He doesn't want to lose her.
That's right.
They've been together, I think, 25 years.
So, you may have sometimes frustrations. There's a few options, right? You either say, we have a relationship that can welcome other people. We're not exclusive.
But she's going to leave then.
because she doesn't want that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the next thing is, as best as you can, make it as interesting and as fun and as pleasurable as it can be. And my first question to you is, have you been doing the same old for God knows how many years? And with that in mind, I wouldn't be surprised that you're not that attracted or that she's not that interested for that matter. So if you want to be satisfied or more satisfied, I mean, you have a dialogue, and the more satisfied means bring more of yourself and make this experience more erotic, more pleasurable, more playful, more fulfilling. You may remain frustrated and you may say, I would love to have other people. And for that matter, maybe your partner would want it too, but that's not the kind of relationship that she wants. That doesn't mean she hasn't thought about other people. And it certainly wouldn't mean that if she fantasizes about you. So everybody is keeping their secrets here, And then the next thing is, are you putting more emphasis on the fact that you're not as satisfied having one sexual partner, or are you putting more focus on the fact that you're going to make this sexual experience with your partner as pleasurable and rich as can be? If you find yourself more on the complaining side, then you're going to be constantly more dissatisfied.
I think much of it is actually he and many others want the best of all worlds. And in life, we're not willing to accept trade-offs.
Yeah.
So you're saying, make a decision. If you want that life, then be honest about that life. If you don't want that life, then
but I'm also
make it
saying
spicy and best.
Invest in that thing to make it better.
Yeah, that's the other alternative.
If you're bored with the food you eat, go buy other food and cook at home and make it more rich and more interesting if you don't want to have the same dinner every night in the house. The question is, what are people doing to make their relationships more vibrant, more erotic, more alive? I mean, this is really... by the way, it's not about having more sex. You can have more sex and not feel much. It's about making it more alive and vibrant. That is what much of my work is about, is cultivating the eroticism and the aliveness in relationships on the personal front.